Well, I mean, first let's just start with, for people that don't know, what is it that you guys do? How did you start this journey, and get to the stage, and just a brief, sentence on what it is that you're doing?
Sure. So this all started when Aaron was homeless at university, and he crashed on my couch for 4 months.
Yeah.
And he was doing his master's in innovation design and engineering with Imperial and the Royal College of Art. I was doing medical school, and we just got together talking for your master's project, and I think I said, it must have been on my period, and I said, make a better product. And he did.
Because I had no idea about sanitary products.
It was really exciting.
Because this whole period journey was just so brand new, and for something that half the world goes through, I had actually no idea. And I remember sitting down with Olivia and writing down every single step. There was like 30 different steps from buying the products to using the products.
And even things that I took for granted. Like, for example, when you go to a restaurant, you stuff it up your sleeve. And then when you go there, you have to find and even wrapping the old sanitary wrap around the new one and all this kind of stuff. Like, this was something that I had to literally, when I explained it to someone like Aaron, I realized how long-winded it was, and also why there's nothing been done. And the last patent in pads was 1970.
Exactly. So it's around 50 years ago was when the last sanitary pad, or like
innovation in sanitary products.
And those are wings, and with
wings.
And that was,
and
they're still showing that
off. Is it the one that's still the market leader?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you know what? In some countries you still don't get those. The quality, like sometimes I'm on holiday and
you get it like a pillow brick.
Yes.
And then it's like, how am I supposed to wear this with clothes? So essentially we got that ball rolling. It took us about another year to get from the biodegradable and essentially just better materials into a flushable idea and concept. So this essentially was a really big pivot point for both of us, because nothing was flushable on the market. And then we found out that over 50% of women in the UK are flushing their products, and then we were like, this is obvious. It's difficult to change human behaviour, and the impact on the environment is staggering. And also the better products that are there, which are organic and use biodegradable products, they all get disposed of in the same way. They either get flushed down the toilet, which is no good, they get incinerated, releasing toxic fumes, or they go to the landfill. So the actual getting a better product isn't solving the impact on the environment. So then once we got the flushable pad going, things really picked up from there. That's when we started getting the competitions and the grants, and we've been very, very fortunate, because that's what sort of got us here today. Yeah.
So, I mean, you've obviously been working full time and doing this at the same time.
Yes.
Aaron, have you been kind of doing this full time, or have you been taking the weight of it for a while?
Well, so after I graduated, so we both graduated last year, and I went on board full time, and Olivia is doing her.
So I'm finishing my foundation training as a doctor, because I felt if it didn't help the company, then I wouldn't have done it. But it really is. It gives us a good credibility, and also it gives us a really good evidence basis, because I day to day come into people who really want this product, not even just within women, but baby diapers, incontinence, adult pads. There are so many uses for this, and also the driving factor on a personal level for me is better educating women, because once you know and are confident of your own body, understand your own body, half of our working force are women, and that's during their reproductive ages. And it has a huge impact on businesses, the government, the economy, just because women, if we just take a very objective view at it and just forget about the emotional impact it has on women, first of all. But even if we look at the objective views, it has a huge impact on infertility, on later diagnoses of women's conditions, which leads to, as I said, infertility, diabetes, hypertension, all of these things which have a huge strain on the taxpayers as well. So why not start at the beginning and get women in control of their own bodies, understand what's happening? And then I think I really want to get periods as well with their social taboo, and I really want to break that down. And even getting Aaron up in front of a room full of women and getting him talking about periods is really exhilarating.
But when you did the pitching workshop, I think there was slight mixed opinion on what you presenting. But to be honest, in the end, we actually really loved the fact that you were championing this, because you weren't trying to relate to a woman's pain. You were just trying to express that this is a big problem with this, it can make an impact on the environment. So I think it was still quite nice to see a guy champion a woman's cause.
I think that's helped us quite a bit, where, like Olivia said, where we got to question a lot of the norms that people just take for granted. Why do sanitary pads, why are they so loud? Why is it thick?
And interesting issues like transgender men. When they go to the toilet and they change their pad, they're men having a period. And then people next door to them are saying, are you eating a crisp packet?
Is it a candy wrapper?
What are you doing? What are you eating? Yeah. And they're like, why is it so loud? So that's where our whole silent part comes in, because there are so many aspects that people haven't considered because they haven't talked to the customers, and that's what we really value.
I think that the one thing we really love about what you guys have presented and your vision in general is it's not just a product you're selling. It's an overall cause you're championing and empowering women. It's more than just a product. And I think that's something that I, for one, and a lot of other women that were in the audience, we heard you guys and we were like, you know what, I can totally relate to this. When is it going to be out next? So we can get this thing. So, I mean, clearly you have a lot of people championing this cause with you, and you guys have been really fortunate to, get to the stage you are right now. And, you very intelligent presentation, very excellent branding. In terms of the future, as co-founders, as potentially first-time entrepreneurs, what are the barriers you feel currently that you feel like you have in terms of moving further? What challenges do you see that you feel like you might need help or need to overcome?
So I'll start with so one of the things that I feel is, because right now Aaron and I have taken this company from the conception to a working prototype to being ready for commercialization, but there are obviously areas that we're lacking in, and we want to find someone who fits with our vision and wants to help grow the company in the way that we've envisioned it, with the helping the menstrual health and hygiene, but also having the technical skills. So we're looking for a CTO, someone who can champion the data side, because as a doctor and as an engineer, we've got the product and the medical side sort of covered for the now, but we want someone with the expertise in technology and also for the expertise in fast-moving consumer goods, someone who's been in the field before. As you say, we're first-time entrepreneurs, and any sort of guidance within the field that we're going into, which has such a monopoly by the big companies like Always and Bodyform, something that because we're hoping to disrupt it. So any sort of advice on that end is our first big barrier, I think.
No, I completely agree. It's in one hand, there is a positive that we are so young and we are a lot more optimistic of how to go about this massive entrepreneurial journey. But then for one big thing for us is to build credibility. And for us, that would only come through when we grow out our team and we actually have some strong form of traction. So the team for us is one of the strongest components of making sure our vision actually gets realized.
And is it just you two right now?
So we've got three people. So we've got the manufacturing and distribution.
Oh, in India.
And Angad, in India. So we can use his expertise because he was a director at one of the largest menswear textile companies. But we've also been working sort of as third-party groups, for example, with the R&D, with Sesmira, which is our textile research institute. We've also been able to get a really supportive network of advisors and people like that through competitions and things like that, through mentorship programs and other sort of things like the London South Bank, the European Union, to help with our packaging and sort of that thing. So we've been getting bits of help from there and there, but we're definitely needing to add to our team and grow it up. That's our big step. Yes.
And I think I have this one personal question to ask. So we love you guys and Twipes.
Yes.
I think excellent personalities as co-founders, lots of great energy, and you guys clearly do in a similar area. Is there room for collaboration or getting together?
Definitely.
Because, I feel like there's definitely going to be, as you guys grow bigger, some sort of overlap with what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing fundamentally different products, because we're doing sanitary pads, they're doing toilet wipes, but there is definitely room to collaborate. I mean, what we're hoping to do is bring together the fragmented menstrual market. So that includes the ancillary products, which includes feminine sprays, hygiene wipes, other painkillers, things like that, which we want to promote on our platform. So I definitely see that there's room for collaboration in the future. Yeah.
And also, when will the product be ready for us to buy?
Yes. So
we have a pilot program starting off in February of next year,
with
2019, with Exeter, around Exeter City, and from there, from what we learn, and after we iterate our products,
we're then going to go into UK.
Exactly.
The thing that's really that we need to wait for is they're rewriting the flushability guidelines in the UK, which they said that they're going to publish around December. So we need to wait for that to come out, so then we can send our products off to get tested against those new guidelines.
I have no idea there were guidelines for this.
Exactly.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
so this is the fourth iteration, I think. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the statistic is shocking about how many people
50% admit to flushing
I'm sure
away.
it's a lot more.
I'm sure. I believe it's closer to 70-80%.
It's horrifically shocking.
And that was only in 2018.
Oh my God. I know. And in the UK.
In the UK.
I mean, it must be much worse in countries where it's more of a taboo.
I know.
This is fantastic.
I mean, like, in one hand, I can completely understand.
Yeah.
If I was at a friend's house, or if I was at in a toilet without a bin, I'd rather, instead of me wrapping it and putting it in my handbag, I can completely understand.
There's so much shame around it, with the smell, with the type of the month, and women themselves feel dirty, and also I think there's a lack of education around it, because a lot of women I speak to say, oh, but tampons are flushable, and then I'm like, no, they're not. They're not flushable. Tampons are not flushable.
That's crazy. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
But thank you guys. This has been really great. I want you to enjoy the rest of your evening.
Great. Thank you so much for having us.
I want you to stay in touch and let us know how we can support you. I'm sure there are a lot of people waiting to talk to you. And if there's anything we can do to help, you just need to let us know and we will facilitate. That's what we're here for.
Thank you so much for having us.
And good luck.